In my life, I have tried so many things. Over the past year and a half of my new conscious life, I often sit by the window in the evenings, close my eyes, and relive the moments that happened in my life. I live them again, identify the lessons I have learned, and then move forward without looking back. There were situations I was ashamed of, many trials that tasted me, and after overcoming them, I can proudly say to myself, I am proud of who I am. But there was one incident that still frightens me when I recall it. And I ask myself, Oksana, where did such cold-blooded courage come from in someone so tender, vulnerable, and sincere when only that could save you? In 2009-2010, my travel business was gradually recovering after the ruble devaluation. All process ran autonomously, and I wanted to try something different. At that time, there was a boom in Moscow and in St. Petersburg for American cars. I established a connection with a person from the United States who began buying cars for me from auctions. At first, I purchased vehicles randomly, but soon I started buying according to the specific orders. The price range was usually from $10,000 to $20,000 per car. The cars were shipped to Kotka, Finland, where drivers working for me would pick them up and drive them to St. Petersburg for customs clearance. Everything ran smoothly until one particular day, February 14, 2010, I decided to go to Finland to pick up a car myself. I shared the idea with my closest friend, and we planned a detailed itinerary for the next few days. From the very first moment, nothing went according to the plan. Interesting fact that this year I attempted 8 times to travel around Lake Michigan on my motorcycle, but each time something went wrong. And I told to myself finally, Oksana, leave it. Not this year, not now. If it doesn't start well, pause it. Don't force it. But in 2010, I ignored all signs of fate and headed straight for danger. At 6 a.m., my friend and I left home in my car. The plan was simple: drive to Russia-Finland border, then to Helsinki. In Helsinki, we planned to visit a water park, stay overnight, and drive to Kotka in the morning to collect the car from the USA. The road was dry and clear, the winter sun shining, snow lining the edges, and for reasons I cannot explain why, but I activated like Schumacher speed. We weren't late, but my average speed reached almost 200 kilometers per hour. Then the sign for the water park appeared. I missed it. I missed the turn. And instead of calmly taking the next U-turn, I swerved onto the first country road I saw. And bam, 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 I made a terrible mistake. I had turned onto a fully iced road, couldn't stop, and we flipped over into a small ravine, landing on the roof. My friend recalls it vividly. She didn't understand what happened, but she started to shout, Oksana, turn off the car or we will explode. Lying upside down, I also feared gasoline would spill and ignite like in the movies. We hung there for about 20 minutes until 2 Finnish men noticed us and pulled us out through the windows and even salvaged the car. Miraculously, we were unhurt, and the car wasn't scratched. We went to the water park, but under immense stress, we enjoyed nothing. And I had no idea the danger that awaited me the next day. The next morning, we arrived to Kotka to pick up the car, a black Honda Civic worth $10,000. Signing the papers, I received the car and I was immediately surprised. The brakes were completely rusted and practically non-functional. I told myself, I can handle that. My friend drove my car and I took the Honda Civic and we began our journey home to St. Petersburg. 20 miles from border, fuel was low. Knowing that gas prices in Finland were 3 times higher than in Russia, I decided to refuel at the first station on the Russian side. We agreed with my friend not to wait for each other and to meet later in St. Petersburg. I drove slightly below the speed limit because of the brake issues. A little contest. Russia in 1990s, the wild 90s, lawlessness prevailed, banditry thrived. Between ages 13 and 17, I witnessed houses and stores burned, people shot on the streets, girls kidnapped, and cars exploded. By 2000, it seemed that order was returning and bandits had disappeared. But naive Oksana was gravely mistaken. As I approached the gas station, filled the tank, and went inside to pay, I realized that I was watched. I was being watched. 3 large, huge men were sitting in the corner, sipping coffee. They looked like from a horror movie. My intuition screamed. I was alone. I was driving an unregistered car in the forest line, and it was 50 miles to the nearest city. A car without plates is unclaimed. Anyone can take it. 10,000 or my life. I got in the car and started to drive. 5 minutes later, 2 huge Range Rovers were on my tail. They cut me off, overtook, braked suddenly, pinned me to the roadside, and even aimed weapons at me. But I was calm. I told myself, Oksana, you're a good driver. Full throttle, stay focused. And the car had problems with brakes. Absolute concentration and complete control over emotions were required. One mistake and it would be fatal. I knew that. I had never driven like that in my life. It was like riding alone on a motorcycle in Arizona and in California, where traffic was insane. Then, last year, I told myself, Oksana, you are here and now. Nothing else matters. And I managed to survive. I managed to control my emotional stress because I was fully present in the situation. I survived that car situation and safely made it to St. Petersburg. I decided that I wanted to leave badly, and I decided that that business was not for me. Now in 2025, rebuilding my life brick by brick, I realize every challenge shaped my character. I'm gentle, tender, feminine on the outside, but like a tin soldier inside. The killers who tried to kill me and steal my car were not the worst. The most dangerous are the wolves among us, wolves in sheep's clothing. Who are they? People who hide their true intentions behind a mask of kindness or innocence. They seem gentle and safe, but inside they are predators, thinking only of themselves. Welcome to 2016, 17 and 2018. My next episode will be about the one of the hardest business period of my life. Friends, I wish you sincere smiles and warmth, and of course a weekend full of life and meaning. And I invite you to walk with me in Chicago. My tours can be booked on the website americabp.com. See you soon.